Welcome back everybody to the daily show where I'll be doing technical analysis on stock market. So before we get started, please hit that like button and that is greatly appreciated. And if you're new here, consider subscribing. Now, what happened to the market today? Well, you can see Nasdaq is down 2%, but before we get to all that, guys, couple things I want to talk about because whenever you try to, call a top or at least a pullback, people take it in a negative way and they think, oh, it's not gonna happen, this guy don't know what he's talking about. And you can see right here in my channel, you can see right here, short now, big drop, sell now, because I was expecting that sell-off to come. And I was net short in the market. You can see right out of the gate, 9:31 a.m. What happened? The account just went straight to the moon. And not only mine, people that are within my Patreon group, massive amount of money was made this morning, regardless of how big of a trader you are and what you're doing. We made money right and left on many things. Even a day trade on IWM was really fantastic that we took, and not to mention big time money on those puts on triple Q, and that was just really good because yes, the market can press a little bit higher, but if you have time and you know exactly what you're doing, you're going to see it coming back to you in a big way. So it was a fantastic day. And if you really wanted to get these trade ideas, definitely check out my link down below in the description for Patreon, guys. Now, what market did today? You can see Dow is down 0.5%, Nasdaq down 2%, S&P down 1.17%, and Russell going down 1.73%. Fear and greed index also sitting at 22. Extreme fear in the market, but we only went down 2%, which is ridiculous to think that only going down 2%, advancing 28% and declining 70% here, you can see. So it's not overall a great day for the market. Then we got 11 sectors, and you can see consumer defensive on top, financial and healthcare, and everything else just took a big hit, especially technology here on bottom, down over 2%. Stock market map, well, the big names took a big hit today, and you can see Nvidia down 3.63%, Google down 2.39%, Meta down 1.59%, Tesla down 4.5% almost, Amazon down 1.95%, and somehow Apple stayed green 0.36%, and even Microsoft was down 0.59%, Oracle down over 4%, PLTR, despite the beat on earning, I mean, that thing is extremely overbought and still was going up. So it's down over 8%, but you can see consumer defensive lighting up in the green. And now let's talk about Nasdaq 100. So here on triple Q, it's down over 2%, just a little bit over 2%. And when I made the video, I think it was right here when I made the video, and then the next day it pressed higher just a tiny bit. I think by $3 or $4, gave it back, and then went higher again. Multiple days of trading here, and then last three videos that I made on stock market, my point was right on the money. And I was talking about coming back and closing some of these gaps. And guess what, guys? You can see we came really like just pennies away from the gap here today. We did not fill this gap. And of course, there is another gap below. But this gap was mainly my target to take profit on this short position on triple Q. And boy, oh boy, this thing delivered huge. And not to mention, that one I don't even, you know, have time to show you guys. MU, which I took yesterday at 236. Those puts 220. You can go and check for yourself deep in the money today. And why I'm shorting the market. It's not just that, I'm blindly going and shorting. The technicals are saying that, this is it. Market can press higher for too long. It has to come down and give back some of those gains, and then we can always play back up to the upside as well. Like right now, if you tell me to go and short the market, I'm not going to do that. you know I like to catch, pretty much near the top or close to the top, somewhere there. And then when you have, 3 4 days just gapping up and going, it's a better opportunity, fantastic opportunity to possibly go and short. Same thing goes to the downside. When it's gapping down multiple days and it's getting really oversold, time to go long. So what is happening. I think early as tomorrow we might see this gap getting filled at 618, and if that does not hold, well, we have another unfinished business down here, that 611 gap, and top of this range right here and this range right here, which can act as a strong support right there when we get down here. Now, today we gap down, so there is a unfilled gap on top near 630, but it was struggling at 626. And why? Because that, Powell plunge at that point when Powell was speaking that day, it actually came down, but it did hold up here at 626. Again, it came down 626, and it was holding. And again today, we went right back up to 626 and finding that as a resistant, and we got that rejection there, and then immediately gave back those $6-7, and now you can see trading around 618. So that is my take here on Nasdaq 100 ETF triple Q. Watch out for 626 to break and hold, then possibly will go on and close the gap on top. Otherwise, it's coming down here, 618.42, and if that does not hold, it will come down and close this gap down here at 611.37 right here on triple Q. On SPY ETF, it's down 1.17%, so not bad as Nasdaq 100, but you can see we got really close to the gap, 672.71, and possibly will come down and close this gap right here, and it can find actually strong support right here on top of this range, 673-ish right here. Now, if this thing does not, come all the way down here tomorrow, and maybe we get to see a gap up. We did go up today to close the gap here on SPY, so there is no gap on top. And if this thing wants to continue, 680 will be the resistance to watch. Over that, watch out for 682, and then only then we can talk about upside potential here on on SPY ETF. Now to the downside, if this thing does not hold here at 673, then we can also talk about more downside here, possibly down to even 670 and even lower down to 665 here on SPY ETF. On IWM, it's down 1.73%. So this, I've been talking about this, that, hey guys, yes, the Nasdaq 100 making brand new all-time highs, so is S&P 500, but not here. As a matter of fact, I even talked about it over the weekend that this trend line is breaking, guys, and you can't take this lightly. And you can see now the trend line broke clearly, and it's sitting right on that 50-day moving average. Actually, not even on this 50-day moving average, slightly below. So that 240 has to hold. Otherwise, look at this. The drop could be significant here on IWM. But this morning, even with all that, we caught a trade at 241 and some change, 245, and you can see that was early morning. You can also see it here on a 5-minute chart. That was the morning drop. We caught it, we rode it back up, and then we got a flush, but we exited here on IWM. It was a really nice setup. And now that 240 does not hold, it can definitely come down. We have a gap down here, 227, so watch out for that. To the upside, key resistance to break and hold over that would be 245 here on IWM. On Dow Jones is down 0.5%, and this one also came really close to this other gap right here, 467.97. So I would say 468, and it just did not close this gap and went right back up and holding over 470. Why? Because you can see previous rejection now acting as a support. So 470 gives up, well, likely to come down and retest 468 with this 20-day moving average as well right there at the gap. So that's going to be key level to watch. If that's not holding, it's getting down to 464.64 and then 463.11 to close all these gaps to the downside. There will be huge resistance at 474.28. If we can get over that, then we can talk about possibly going back up to 476 to even 480 here on Dow. On VIX, it's up over 10%, so you can see massive move here on VIX, and this thing spiked all the way up to, you can see, 20 plus, then gave back some of those gains. But we talked about it in my video before that a lot of calls were coming in for $23, and then of course 33 also further out. And you can see why these calls were coming in. There was a reason, whether it's hedging or whatnot, but they were buying like crazy, guys. Millions of dollars of puts they were calls they were buying on VIX, and now you can see the result. This thing from what 15 $16 got up to 20 plus today, and this is a nice looking chart, and just making higher lows and higher highs, and potentially will break out to possibly a new high if this is how it continues. Also, with the government shutdown, you can see there is nothing really going on. This is the longest, almost the longest shutdown we ever had. And it's just gonna be a chaos with Thanksgiving coming, Black Friday coming, with no SNAP benefit, and then government shutdown, and lots of other things that are not really looking good for the economy. People losing job, Powell downplaying labor market, and then inflation. We're going into that stagflation right now, where inflation is not going down, but your paycheck and your job is not there anymore. You're not getting paid. Your job is not there, but the inflation, you got to pay for more, for your stuff, and you got to pay more for your stuff right now. And nobody seems to care about. I mean, we put these people in the government for us, and it seems like they're just going home after just having a quick chat, and then that's it. Nobody cares. Like, if you don't have insurance, your baby don't have insurance, somebody don't have insurance, or your SNAP benefit that you need, well, do hell with it. You're not gonna get nothing. They're just gonna sleep on you. That's crazy to think that these people are running our country, where people in need can get their benefit. That just breaks my heart. Now, I'm not saying just give out free stuff people that are not eligible, but people that actually needed these benefits. I really feel it, and it's not good. So keep an eye on VIX. That's one thing. Lots of things happening in the market. We spoke about dollar before, and boy, oh boy, this is a massive push to the upside. We're overextended here on dollar outside the Bollinger Band today. So we might see a little bit of retracement, possibly down to right here at this support 99.49. Watch out for that pullback. Possibly can happen, but I mean, this thing got up to where we want it, and right now it's a little bit overextended. Unless there is some even more bad news, then it will continue to go up from here. Now, gold fell off the cliff today. I mean, look at this, down 4% on the day, over 4%, 68. So another gap down. We did not fill this gap. Another gap down. It looks like it might be heading down here at 65. So lots of things are breaking down. You look at crypto. Today was a mess. Bitcoin, sold off, and then everything else is selling off. And the market, I mean, yes, the market is down today. We made money, I'm not gonna lie, but do you think that is it? I mean, 2%, how much? How much and how long it's been going up, guys? I mean, it's crazy to think how long the market is going up without a decent correction. It's not even 5 to 7%. We only got like 2, 3%, and that was it. So, I mean, just because we went down today, do not expect tomorrow that, oh, it's gonna go down even more. And people that bought puts today, I hope nobody bought puts today now, because usually what we're seeing recently, one down day 2 3%, and the next day gap up and go, right? That can happen. We left a gap open on triple Q on top, so that can happen. So be careful trading tomorrow, and especially the fear and greed index. I mean, that thing is reading extreme fear. So usually market bottoms when you see that, but that just I just don't understand, because the market was actually trading at all-time high, extremely overbought, and the greed was like just extra in the market. Nobody was selling nothing, and now we're seeing that fear and greed index reading at what 22, extreme fear. So that is something to watch. That's why you don't want to go and blindly short everything unless you have a knowledge about when and where to short, and then where to take profit. And you don't want to overstay your welcome when the market is going up or down, whether you're shorting or going long here in the market, guys. Let me know your thoughts down below in the comment section, and I'll definitely keep you guys updated.